You say tomato, I say tomato, but we don't have to call the whole thing off. Believe it or not, there is a way to have a nice conflict and even conquer deeper issues by not getting along. Author Tim Scudder is here to talk about a successful way to handle conflict. And you know firsthand, having a company where you are CEO, where you go into other companies and teach them how to do this.
Yeah, well, thanks for having me. And yeah, when we work with companies, it's amazing how often people are stuck and they can't do their jobs because of conflict. They don't like their boss, or they don't like the other people that they work with, and they can't move on to the task that they really want to because the people issues are getting in the way.
First of all, I think that some people really have a fear of conflict, but what you advocate is you don't have to be afraid of it. You just need to know how to navigate through it.
Exactly. And actually conflict can be a source of productivity. You know, if you've been in a conflict with someone and you resolve it well, you think, wow, we're actually stronger now. We made it through. We have a better relationship. And conflict is normal. You know, I think a lot of people, they want to avoid conflict, but we like to say that we can prevent it. Right? That we can actually stop it from happening.
And that's one of the 5 steps that you teach, that sometimes there are ways that you can actually prevent conflict.
Exactly. And to do it well, you first have to be able to anticipate it. You have to know that it's possible, that what causes conflict for one person might be a different thing for someone else. So, you know, if you're going to be frustrated that you can't get something done, whereas somebody else is going to be frustrated that something's not planned out well, that's 2 different triggers of conflict for 2 different people.
So anticipating it, that it may happen, trying to prevent it, and I know that there's 3 others that you teach people how to be successful.
Right, so the first 2 are related. You have to know that it could happen, so you could stop it. But the next 3 are also related. You have to, once you're in conflict, be able to identify it. And conflict shows up in different ways for different people. Some people really assert themselves in conflict. Some people accommodate other people in conflict, that they give in. And some people really analyze in conflict. So you have to be able to identify those different ways of different people handling conflict so that you can then manage that conflict differently with different people to bring it to a satisfactory resolution. And resolution is all about what makes people feel good about themselves in the conflict.
You brought up a really interesting point before the segment where you're saying that sometimes when there is conflict, if you can get to the why there's conflict, that can help all parties come together.
Right, right. Just last week I was up at, or out rather, in Orlando at the Student Television Network conference, and the kids have to produce these pieces in very short amounts of time and then present them, and it's high pressure.
We don't know anything about that here.
No, I would guess not. I would guess not. But they were fighting. They were like, I have an idea. No, listen to my idea. Hey, shut up, you know. And wow, you know, and finally one kid says, hey, why are we doing this? And that is the magic moment. You know, a lot of conflict gets up here where people are fighting about what to do, but they forget to ask why. So we need to get down to the purpose level to really resolve it. And it's so great to see kids in a program like that be able to stop and say, hey, why are we doing this?
And then when you got to the why, it seemed like they realized, hey, we're all on the same team. We want the end result. We want this to be successful. We may just have different ways of going about doing it.
Exactly. And then some of those different ways might all be important to the same project, but once we all have the same reason or the same purpose, it's so much easier to understand why your way and my way are both contributing.
What do you do if you have the yeller, you have the person that gets real quiet, you have the nervous twitcher? What do you do with all those different personalities and all those different types of attitudes towards conflict?
Yeah, well, like we say in the book, you need to meet them where they're at. Right? So if someone's really being confrontational in conflict, you need to receive that, because underneath that confrontation is something that matters to that person. Conflict is about a threat to self-worth. And anything that shows up as conflict, be it assertive or analytical or accommodating, it all speaks to what matters to that person behind it.
Jim, thank you so much. We're out of time. We could talk about this forever, but we have a couple of books to give away on our website, sandiego6.com, and click on San Diego Living. Have a nice conflict today. So yeah, Mark Bailey and I will use it later, because you know we get into ruckuses all the time here on the show. Hey, pipe down over there, mister. I'm gonna get you.
Well, I brought 8, so it looks like 2 will be put to good use.
You better believe it. I get the bigger one. Thank you so much for coming on today, Tim. Wonderful to have you. More information, go to our website, sandiego6.com. Click on San Diego Living.